So it seems Europe is a bit too involved in Mexico to care about the Civil War, so no European intervention. Hello and welcome to Civil War in Hindsight. I'm Lieutenant Tommy. With me, as always, is Prospector Johnny. And hey, Prospector, not really any bad news this week.
I imagine there's a lot of more good news about how we have taken over Kentucky, we have gotten into Tennessee, we have a stronghold, and we're punching up from down in Florida and squeezing in from the Mississippi. We started that last week.
I said no bad news.
We were doing the things.
Yeah, I said no bad news.
But
I didn't say any. I said no good news. I said no bad news. Well, sort of good news, but we'll get there. The week actually opens up on the 24th of January with a little bit of washed news here. Union gunboats captured 2 blockade runners at the mouth of the Mississippi River, so more Confederate pirates going under with their supplies looted and pillaged, going back to us. It's ours now.
Perfect. We'll take it.
We'll take it. That's good. And then, unfortunately, a lighthouse vessel, a federal lighthouse ship, lands off the coast of Cape Henry in Virginia to check on a lighthouse, where they are immediately captured by the Confederates because I guess they forgot that, Virginia seceded and you don't need to really check on the lighthouses there anymore. And why?
So
Yeah.
Did they? So they were checking that. That's their job, obviously, is to lighthouse maintenance of some sort.
That's
and a lighthouse went out.
They were checking on it,
but it was in Virginia. They checked
on,
and that's Confederate land.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Confederates didn't like the Union ship coming in.
No, because it's a federal ship, so they're like, we don't like that. So your men are now our men.
And they captured them.
Not combatants, by the way, not combatants. So
just civilians being captured.
Well, not civilians. They're just not combatants. It's U.S. Navy property, but it's not like they're not.
Okay.
They're not like.
Well, and that's on them, really. They probably should have sent combatants if you're gonna go into Confederate territory.
Yeah, there's that. Yeah.
Send some guns.
On the 25th of January, Burnside is still moving his troops from naval vessels onto the shores around North Carolina, specifically near Pamlico Sound, which has been going on for weeks now because he didn't bring enough landing vessels with him. So
right, I remember that.
It's like 2 weeks. He's still doing it. He's still doing it. Takes a while.
Can you imagine being on the boat waiting?
Hey,
I just swim.
It's been a couple of weeks. Can we figure this? Can we just get the life rafts down at this point?
I mean, by this time, surely we could have sent another ship down with more vessels to get the everybody onto shore, but that's not happening. And slow and steady wins the race.
Slow and steady wins the race because there's no real impediment going on by Confederate actions. It's just they're only impeded by their own stupidity. That's all it is. The Confederates aren't fighting them.
Well,
it's just their
oftentimes
own
that's been enough for the North in this war.
Which that's going to become, spoiler alert, a theme for Burnside moving forward is just poor planning. On the 26th,
how do you even know that? I mean, it seems like conjecture.
It's conjecture. On the 26th, in response to a successful Union campaign in the West, Confederates moved PGT Beauregard from his command in the Potomac out west, where he will be second in command overall underneath Albert Sidney Johnston, leaving Joseph Johnston in full command in Virginia. So Confederates are a little bit more concerned about what's going on out west right now than what's going on in Virginia. They're like, hey,
they have to see the value in the Mississippi River, and we've been doing some work along the river, and so that's got to be raising some alarm bells for them, I would imagine.
It is raising some alarm bells, and Johnny, on the 27th, Lincoln is going to commit another first for president when he directly gives
a good one. Is it going to be the first time a president brought the country back together in peace after a secession?
Well, it's I don't think it's bad. He's actually going to give a direct military order to all Union forces, which is the first time this has happened. Now, technically speaking, yes, the president is commander-in-chief, and technically speaking, he is the overall commander of all military operations.
But typically, he's not giving direct orders to troops.
No, typically
he's giving orders to generals, right?
Typically,
would he just be assigning them?
typically he assigns a general, has meetings with those generals, and the generals are like, here's our plan, and he goes yay or nay. It's not like,
Okay.
this is my plan. Like, this is my
Yeah,
specific
and so
thing.
Lincoln has a plan,
Sort of.
and who's he tell it to?
Yeah, he issues General War Order Number 1, indicating that there's probably going to be more coming.
Number
you issue-
1, yeah, that's
General
the,
Order
that's the
number
start of a
1.
list.
That's the start of a list.
Right there is what that 1, boop, and then you go on.
And the order says, and I quote, ordered that on the 22nd of February, 1862, be the day for a general movement of land and naval forces of the United States against insurgent forces. So he's issuing an all-out frontal assault across the entire lines of all the different various fronts to move.
Come February.
February 22nd. He wants them all to move on February 22nd. Which I hope, like, why are you giving a specific date, Lincoln? I mean, come on. Like, hope that the Confederates don't get a hold of this when you have spies everywhere in Washington. I don't know if you notice this, but Washington kind of juts down into the Confederacy. Like, there were, like...
Hey, Tommy, I don't know
by
if you
Confederates.
know. Have you been paying attention to Tommy? Everybody who says the word Confederate has been getting arrested and thrown in jail.
That's true.
I don't think they're getting any of this information down there.
But in any case, specifically, he wants the Army of Fort Monroe, the Army of the Potomac, Army of Western Virginia, Army in Kentucky, the Army under Grant at Cairo to move out into enemy territory, as well as the naval force in the Gulf of Mexico to move into Louisiana. We want that New Orleans. We want that port. Want all that port and all that good Creole food.
And so this is I mean, obviously moving into means engaging in whatever battles might need to take
actually
place,
move,
to taking over a place. But he's trying, so he is taking, when a snake is constricting something, anytime it breathes out, it gets a little bit tighter, right?
Yes.
So he's doing that. Like he's trying to just squeeze
mean,
everything in just a little bit.
Over the last few months, he said, "Hey, can you pretty please move?" And they said, "No, and
I think he's
now
getting
saying,
tired. He's getting pretty darn sick. Yeah, he's getting sick of
is-
everybody just sitting around not doing shit.
This is the date you're going to move, and you're going to do it."
Dang, so
and
we got a month.
While all of this is going on, Emperor Louis Napoleon III. This is the nephew of that guy,
Yeah.
that guy. He's the nephew of that guy, who's now the Emperor of France. He's going to blame the American Civil War on hindering trade, which is why the prices are increasing in France. But don't worry, he's not going to commit any troops because he says he's hoping for a quick
whoa. This guy, he's saying that their prices are going up because of us?
Yeah, because we were involved in the war, which is hindering the trade of cotton, and that's why prices are going up, because we're in a war, and the Union blockade's not allowing trade from the
Probably true.
Confederacy land.
Also, they're selling a bunch of guns and shit to us, so their supply's down. So they gotta check those prices up on anything that may be gun related.
In reality,
totally pretty fair assessment, I think.
In reality, I think Napoleon's a bit too tied up to give a shit about the American Civil War. He's just trying to explain to his people why prices are going on, because Mexico refused to pay the interest on its loans due to France, Britain, and Spain. So Mexico basically said, "Hey, all those loans that we owe Europe, we're not paying." So not even that they're not paying; they're just not going to pay the interest on the loans. We're like, "What?"
So they'll pay back the loan,
but we're not going to pay
with
the interest. Not with interest.
I mean, what would the interest rate? They have. They probably didn't get a good interest rate. Is what the issue is. There, it's probably like 100%.
Yeah, 27%, like 27%. So France, Britain, and Spain are a little bit irritated by this, and in December, Spain is actually going to land. So back in December, Spain is actually going to land a force at Veracruz, and then followed by the English and the French here in January.
All right, so the interest was enough that it was worth sending
we're gonna send some
over
troops,
ships full of military.
Yeah, and they take
collect them.
Yeah, they take over the city of Veracruz effectively by the 23rd of January. They said, "Hey, look, Mexico, are you going to pay us?"
Why that city? Just because it was on the coast?
It's on the coast. And they're like, "Hey, are you going to pay us the interest now?" And Mexico's like, "No."
We don't care about that city.
Not going to do it.
But they get, I mean, what? Jeez.
So on the 23rd, French troops lead an expedition into taking the city of Orizaba and say, "Hey, look, we're going to have a conference between these four." They take over the city of Orizaba and say, "Hey, look, we're going to have a conference here between Spain, Mexico, France, and England to determine, like, Mexico, you're gonna pay us, right?
To sort out their issue that they had. This is, I mean, they're coming out after them like bullies. So they both landed, took over a city, and then France said,
yeah. France goes and takes over another city and says, "Hey, we're gonna meet here
and now we're
at this other city
let's have a chat."
Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
So really, what it is Napoleon is too busy trying to get money out of Mexico, but the people at home in France are kind of poor and starving, and so instead of like because there's been a lot of necks flying over in France.
A whole lot of
So he's like, it's not my fault.
France has a history of the guillotine over there.
It's not my fault. It's the Americans' fault. So we'll blame them. But we're not going to we're not going to intervene. We're just going to let them. It's going to end soon. It's going to end soon.
That's a heady play.
The North already won in Kentucky, so it's going to be over any minute now. Which I agree with him.
He's probably right. Like, I mean, that's a heady play. That's a good play because obviously this war's ending.
Yeah, obviously.
And you can blame that, and then hope that things kind of turn around, and keep your head. Napoleon.
Keep our head.
Good luck.
I'm sure he'll keep his head because Napoleons are known for keeping their heads. Light skirmishing is going to continue on the 28th and 29th of January near Greensburg, Kentucky, and Lebanon, Missouri, with no substantial battles, losses, or change of territory. This is just bored soldiers taking pot shots at each other like they do.
Target practice.
And Johnny, this week
they're bad at it.
Yeah, they're bad at it. It's good to get some practicing because they are bad at it. And this week is going to end with some good news as a large crowd is going to gather at Greenpoint, Long Island, New York to witness the launching. You remember a few months ago when we talked about the U.S. wanting to build an all-metal armored boat?
No.
Shut up. They're going to witness the launch of this all-metal armored USS Monitor. It's pushed off into the channel, and it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It doesn't sink. It floats.
What?
Yeah, it floats. It works. It's all metal. Armor plated, all metal, made of all metal, armor plated, and allegedly it is able to withstand anything that the Confederates can throw at it. Doesn't matter what size cannon that they throw at it. This armor plating is good enough to withstand it all.
Can it fit on the Mississippi?
No, this isn't the Mississippi. This is New York. Johnny. This is out,
no, I know. Can it fit? Because if we could just go up the Mississippi just bang, and then take everyone out.
It's got a big circular turret. It sits relatively low to the water. Big circular, which is, that's not surprising.
I mean, of course. So it barely floats. Is what you're saying.
It's got this big. It looks. And I'm not exaggerating here. It's like a wheel of cheese on a wooden plank. It's a wheel of cheese on a wooden plank.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks
so
like.
not a majestic boat, not a majestic,
not
decorative, but it's built. It's purpose built. And so it has a turret a
rotating turret
at the top that'll rotate.
Yeah. Only 2 guns, but there are 2 massive guns that do rotate. So
I imagine. And
if
are they facing the same direction, or is it one each?
No. Facing two guns facing the same direction,
okay.
So you can get 2 broadside 2 shots. So I mean that's good because it can fight any boat.
I mean, it's a ship.
It's a rotating turret.
It can move
that's
around.
awesome.
You don't have. Yeah, they don't have to line up the entire ship.
Yeah, no, it's just
to
rotate
fire.
the turret. Yeah, rotate the turret.
Just move one part. Wow.
And if it can withstand any,
and it works.
This is our. How can the Confederates survive this? This is our doomsday gun, right?
I mean, good night, good luck. Confederacy. If we could learn how to put it on wagons and just pull it through the Confederate, that's the next step.
That's the next step. Put it on a wagon. Yeah.
Metal ship on wagons. Get some people pulling it or whatever, and other than the things in front that have to pull it, it's indestructible.
This whole boat is a brainchild of John Erickson, and it seems like it is a success. At least it floats.
Yes, please.
It floats.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
We'll see if we can get it successfully moved down to a theater of operation where it can do some damage. But hey,
it does still have to travel across the ocean.
It does still have to get. Yeah, it still has to get down to where the enemy is. But hey, the Anaconda plan, we now have a secret weapon. And the final note here, Johnny, the very, very final note, those Confederate commissioners that we've been talking about for like 6 months that, we illegally seized and then gave back to the British.
Yeah. All that business, whatever.
Yeah, they made it to England, finally. Okay. Like, that was only like a 7-month journey.
I mean, good God. Yeah, that would be annoying.
Delays after delays. They got interned a little bit on a prison fort. So there's that. Yeah. Hey, but They're now in England.
But they
where
made
can-
it. It's
Hey.
good for them.
Good. Enjoy some tea and crumpets, I guess. And tune in next week to see if the Monitor does anything. Maybe. We'll see. That's it for this week in Civil War in Hindsight. If you enjoy Civil War in Hindsight, check out Historic Hindsight, where we talk about all kinds of fun things like how Mount Rushmore is bullshit and the railroad that spans the whole United States thing.